Yeah, so I actually spent about 10 years in the franchise world before founding FranShares. I was on the brokerage side and experienced all the same things you guys do, where you have people come to you who don't have the liquidity in order to own a franchise. Maybe they don't have the time, they don't want to do it all, or they don't have the right skill set. So we created FranShares as a platform for any investor to actually get franchise ownership, whether it's they want to invest $500 or $5 million. And so we created this platform to really make this marketplace for people to get into this investment that they typically don't have access to. And so we started this, we're doing a Reg D for our first offering. We launched a $25 million franchise portfolio. And we're actually about to announce it today, but after about a month, we've already got 5 million in orders, and we're doing 55 locations between two very different brands. Actually, one of them is located in Denver, and I saw their CEO here. Is Michael Haynes still around? Of course he's not here. Teriyaki Madness is based in Denver with 350 locations. So we've had a lot of great experience seeing investors who really want to own franchises, but they can't for one reason or another. And so with this, our next fund will be open to non-accredited investors due to the Reg A Plus process. And once we open that up, we actually have over 37,000 people on our wait list. So there's definitely demand for people who want to get into this asset class. There just have been restrictions in the past. And this ability to fractionally invest into new asset classes is something that they're really getting used to. Now you can fractionally invest in commercial real estate, artwork, collectibles, wine, Airbnbs. And so, it's about making sure you tap that user base and see what they're looking for, which they want to diversify, they want passive income, and they want to hedge against inflation, which franchising is really between where the consumers are paying the increase and where the producers are raising prices. So we've been seeing a lot of interest in the franchise investing. Well, for one, another startup founder I talked to said, if you talk to 50 customers, you're going to get an MBA in what they want out of your company. And I took that as, well, I want a doctor. So out of the 37,000 on the wait list, I've spoken to 600 individuals since January. And what they want is access to things that they couldn't before. That's part of why you saw cryptocurrency rise. It's something new, it's something exciting. And in the past on the brokerage side, I used to kind of shy away from the word franchise, the F word. People hear it, they have bad connotations with it. But then when it's not them operating it, they're like, oh yeah, I've heard of a franchise. Wait, I can own part of it? So you're really opening this up to people who wanted access to new types of investments, but also with the stability that they know a franchise offers. And as far as what franchisors should, honestly, every franchisor should. If you think about why you franchise, it's capital, operations, and that person in the community. And when you do crowdfunding, you not only get access to more capital, that's what people are typically thinking of, but look at what happened with Reddit versus Wall Street last year. You saw that when people can actually have an influence, they care about it. And so if you can have an influence in something in your local community, it changes the game. So instead of one franchisee who's going around and saying, hey, come to my local location, you have hundreds or thousands of investors who are owners. And they're going to be built-in customer base, they're going to be built-in advocates. They will tell every single person they know to go to your location at some point, probably in the month, if not the week. They will tell everyone because they know they're going to make more money. They've got that pride of ownership. So honestly, every franchisor should be thinking about this. And that's what I realized, that everyone wants access to the investments and they want that pride of ownership. How many franchisors do we have in the room? All right, so try and yell at me here. Does everyone with a check to afford it get a franchise? Now, there are bad apples out there. So just like you have to vet any franchisee, the source of the money is not the problem, but the thing is you have to figure out who they are first. And they're not going to go raise money unless you approve them. That wouldn't make any sense. We put down deposits on franchise fees before we did that. And they could be a great salesperson and they could go convince people to invest in their opportunity, but are they going to be a good franchisee? We're going to be two of the largest franchisees in both these franchise systems we're in. And it wasn't just, hey, I've got a check for you. They want to know who I was, and they want to know how I was going to run this. And they want to see how this is actually going to help build their greater brand. So I don't think just it changes how you look at them. You have to make sure you vet them just like everyone else. But it is a great funding ability for those who might not have had the check before. That would have been great operators, but just don't have a chance. Like, that's why Chick-fil-A has expanded so much. $10,000 for a franchise. It's hard. It's easier to get into Harvard than to get a Chick-fil-A award. And that's because they've made opportunity for these amazing operators. And so it can be amazing for you, but just like anyone else, you have to vet who they are as an operator as well as the finances. Yeah, so I'd also touch on the misconception part of it too, because I think when people hear the word crowdfunding, some get a negative connotation, just like something with franchising. And they do that because they're used to Kickstarter. It's, oh, maybe this idea will work. We'll try and launch a product. And I think that's how people initially did crowdfunding for new companies. And people thought, oh, I don't know if it's going to work. It's a risky investment. But that's why all these alternative investment platforms have really taken off, from like the Fundrisers for real estate, because that's a tangible asset. Same thing with Masterworks for hardware. They can see and understand it. And with franchising, they know there are systems in place, and they know that there's security in that. And so you're going to see a lot more people start tipping over for, I want to invest in franchising because there's stability there, the same reason people have always invested in franchising. So if you're not familiar with this space, it's definitely something to explore. So like I said, we've gotten a ton of traction from people who are interested in investing in this space. So if you're not checking it out, you're missing out.